You are being invited into a quiet, steady promise. A new rhythm is arriving for your finances. This is not a sudden, dramatic rescue that patches one crisis and disappears. This is the gentle reordering of the system that supports your life. The Lord is aligning circumstances so money will come more often, circulate more freely, and begin to stay. You remember tracks of help that arrived and then vanished, loans repaid by grace, doors that opened and closed, seasons of plenty that felt fleeting. That cycle is breaking now. Small, steady entrances will replace the emergency rush. At first you notice it not only in numbers, but in how you feel. A loosening of fear, a lightness where tension once lived, clearer thinking that makes calm decisions rather than frantic ones. These are the first signs of spiritual and financial stability taking root. What comes now will not hinge on a single paycheck, one person, or one event. The Lord is teaching you diversification, favor, and wise stewardship. Opportunities will begin to multiply and align in ways that create recurring, balanced income. Flow requires responsibility. Abundance is being entrusted to those who guard their peace and manage what they are given. Your weights, your losses, and every lesson have been preparing you for this season. Receive this word and move forward with faith. Expect the heavens to organize steady entrances, small at first, then more frequent, until what once felt scarce becomes reliable. The flow has begun, and it will not stop. Curiosity. If provision were steady, what would change first in your life? Take a moment to feel that truth. Comment below with one honest word that captures what you're receiving today: hope, relief, peace, or something else. And let it mark this season. When you're ready, keep watching. The next video will show you practical steps to steward this new flow and deepen the roots of steady provision. You have been standing at the edge of a stream that once ran dry and now, quietly, begins to swell. Listen, it is not a roar. It is a steady, persistent sound, the kind that tells you something has changed beneath the earth. The Lord is rearranging channels in your life so water can move differently, so money can arrive repeatedly and find places to rest and grow. This is not a sudden, spectacular rescue. It is a reordering, a reweaving of systems that have left you vulnerable to one-time help and vanished favors. What comes now will not be dependent on a single paycheck, a single person, or a single event. Feel the easing in your chest. Decisions that used to tighten your jaw now come with a clearer mind, because panic no longer dictates your choices. You are learning the rhythm of diversification, multiple streams entering your household, opportunities spread like roots seeking nourishment. Favor is being layered into your life. Introductions, doors opening, timing that aligns with wisdom. But flow requires responsibility. The heavens are teaching you stewardship. You are being entrusted with abundance, and with that entrustment comes the call to manage, to plan, to sow with intention. Remember the seasons you endured, weights that made you honest, losses that taught you humility, lessons that sharpened your judgment. These are the preparation for this steady season. Watch your routines. Small changes in discipline, generosity, and gratitude will encourage the circulation of blessing. You may not see every deposit immediately, but you will feel the shift. Less fear, more peace, decisions made from rest rather than rush. Receive this promise and move with faith. The flow has begun, not as a temporary tide, but as a new order. What might steady entrances look like in your life this year? Share one small sign you're already noticing, a change in feeling or a new opportunity. Leave it in the comments as a step of faith. Stay with me for the next video where we will explore practical steps to steward this new flow. A quiet invitation reaches you now, gentle as dawn, unstoppable as a river that has found its true bed. Listen, this is not a single miracle stitched into a desperate night. It is the beginning of a new order, a redesign of how provision moves through your life. Where you once felt the pinch of returns that came and then vanished, something steadier is being formed. The heavens are arranging steady entrances. Funds will begin to arrive more often, to circulate, to linger long enough for plans to breathe. You may not yet see every number align in your bank, but you will notice the soft easing in your chest. Decision-making clears. Worry loosens its hold. You begin to choose from peace rather than panic. That sensation matters. It is the first sign that spiritual stability is anchoring your finances. God is teaching you diversification, favor coming through different doors, opportunities that do not rely on a single hand. This is wisdom, not luck. It is training you in stewardship to receive, allocate, and multiply with heart and discernment. Remember the lessons of your weights and losses. They were not empty seasons. They prepared the soil. Now, the seeds planted in patience are ready to root. The flow will ask something of you. Responsibility. To whom much is given, more is required, not as burden, but as trust. Steward this peace. Align your choices with the posture of faith, and the recurring, balanced income will find a hospitable home in your life. Feel the excitement that walks with calm, the thrill of new possibilities held in steady hands. You are invited to walk slowly into this promise, to notice each subtle shift, to keep faith with the small steps. Curiosity stirs. What could steady abundance begin to change in your everyday life? Leave a comment reflecting on one sign you're already noticing, an ease decision, a new opportunity, or simply a lighter heart. In the next video, we will explore practical spiritual steps to steward this flow and welcome the ongoing provision God is organizing. You feel it like a soft rearranging inside your chest, a quiet assurance that money will become rhythm, not crisis. This is not an emergency rescue. It is a sacred reordering. What once arrived like a single bright comet now begins to show up like stars, regular, steady, predictable. You remember seasons when help came and left, like footprints on sand. Those footprints are drying up. The tide is changing. As the fear of scarcity loosens, your shoulders drop. Decisions that used to be clutch and hold are made with breath and clarity. You notice yourself choosing wisely, negotiating calmly, opening doors you would once have shut out of panic. Funds begin to flow more often. They circulate instead of stagnating. Opportunities that looked like chance are aligning with purpose. The Lord is teaching you diversification, multiple streams, different kinds of favor, small and consistent returns that add up. He is asking you to steward what comes with peace so that what is given can grow. This season asks for responsibility, not strain. Flow and freedom require discipline, wise budgets, prudent choices, and a heart ready to give as it receives. But this discipline is not a burden. It is the posture of someone who believes abundance is steady and trustworthy. Your weights, your losses, the lessons etched into your years, they have prepared you for steady entrances. You have developed patience. You have learned to recognize the gentle hand of providence when it arrives. Even before every bank number changes, you feel lighter. There is space in your thinking again for vision, for dreams that were shelved by worry. Receive this word as a beginning. Heaven is organizing steady entrances. What comes now will not depend on a single paycheck, person, or event. It will be balanced, recurring, and sustainable. Curious about how to recognize the first steady streams in your own life? Leave a reflective comment below, one small sign you've already seen, and keep your heart open. In the next video, we'll uncover practical steps to steward this new flow without losing the peace you've gained. You are being invited into a quiet, steady promise. Not a flash of luck, not a one-off rescue. Something quieter, deeper. The pattern of your provision is shifting. Feel that, like a room suddenly breathing. The Lord is rearranging the architecture of your finances so that money begins to arrive in new rhythms, recurring in ways you have only prayed for. Remember the times help came and then left. Those cycles are losing their hold. What was once sporadic is being taught to flow. You will notice small changes first, a calm that replaces the immediate panic, a clarity in decisions that used to be blurred by fear. You will sleep differently. You will think differently. The pressure eases because the pattern is changing. This season is a schooling in stewardship. God is showing you how to diversify, how favor can open doors in several places instead of depending on a single one. He is aligning opportunities so income becomes balanced and sustainable. The work of provision will still require responsibility, but now it is met with grace. The flow asks for wisdom, and you are being ready to steward what comes with peace. Picture steady entrances, streams rather than a single faucet. Funds that circulate and remain, not stagnate or vanish. Picture relationships opening, small contracts, repeat clients, unexpected kindnesses that compound. These are the signs of a reordering at work. Your past weights, your losses, your lessons, Each has been a teacher preparing you to receive and steward. Receive this word with a listening heart. Move forward without frantic haste, but with expectant patience. The heavens' bookkeeping is not chaotic, it is organizing. The flow has begun, and it will not stop. Curious, what would it feel like if your next 3 months carried this steady rhythm? Share one small sign you're already seeing in the comments. One moment that says, something is changing. Stay with that thought, and come to the next video where we will explore practical steps to steward this new flow with wisdom and faith. You are standing at the edge of a new pattern, and it arrives with a quiet insistence. Not a thunderclap that fixes everything at once, but a steady, deliberate rearrangement. God is setting your finances into a new rhythm. You have known help that came and then slipped away. You have learned the sting of starts that never continued. Now watch as those cycles loosen. Money begins to arrive more often, not just in bursts but in currents that circulate and remain. You notice it first in the small things. Less tightness behind your breath, decisions made without the old edge of panic, a clarity in choices that used to feel clouded. This season teaches you diversification, not as a buzzword, but as a divine lesson in balance. Opportunities will appear from different doors, a favor that opens one month, a recurring client the next, a wise connection that multiplies an income stream. God is guiding you to steward what comes, to place resources where they can breathe and grow. Flow requires responsibility. Abundance is not carelessness, but careful tending. The Lord entrusts steady entrances to hearts that have learned to keep peace, to hands that are willing to manage, to minds that plan with wisdom rather than fear. Feel the weight of old losses settling into perspective. Those weights were not wasted, they were training grounds. Your past losses taught prudence. Your long nights taught endurance. Those lessons are the soil now fertilizing recurring favor. Even before your account fully mirrors this change, you carry a different posture, lighter, more hopeful, more confident. You will take steps differently because your heart is not driven by emergency, but by expectation. Receive this as more than a promise. Receive it as an invitation to participate. Walk gently with what you are given. Make room for multiple streams, and allow the Father to teach you stewardship in real time. There is a steady hand arranging steady entrances, and the flow has begun. Pause now. What small shift are you willing to make this week to steward new favor? Share in the comments. And come to the next video where we will unpack practical steps to protect and multiply these recurring streams. You can feel it, a quiet rearranging beneath the surface of your life. Not a sudden windfall that disappears the next month, but a subtle, sure ordering. Sources begin to align, payments come with more regularity, and opportunities knock more than once. Your memory is full of help that arrived and left, of cycles that teased relief only to return old fear. Now that pattern is shifting. The Lord is teaching you a new rhythm, steady entrances, repeated favor, and the discipline that holds blessing. This season asks for your attention, not your panic. You will notice your thinking clearing. Decisions that used to be made in fear will come with a calm confidence. You'll begin to diversify, not because you distrust provision, but because wisdom multiplies what is given. Stewardship becomes an act of worship, paying attention, planning, and choosing rest over rush. As you do, resources start to circulate instead of evaporating. Money lingers longer, relationships of favor deepen. Small consistent gains compound into significant stability. Feel the relief in your chest as scarcity loses its grip. Even if your bank balance has not yet caught up, your posture toward money is changing. You move from survival to stewardship. You learn to say yes to what grows and no to what returns you to panic. God is entrusting you with reliability. With it comes responsibility, gentle, firm, and liberating. Your past losses and long waits were not mere setbacks. They were training grounds. They taught patience, discernment, and resilience so you could handle the steady flow now arriving. Let this be the moment you shift from waiting for a miracle to tending a movement. Receive this promise. The flow has begun and will not stop. Walk deliberately. Make room for recurring favor. Manage with prayerful wisdom. Curious how this steady flow will look in practical steps for your life? Reflect. What small change can you steward this week to honor this season of continuity? Leave that thought in the comments. In the next video, We'll explore specific practices to organize your finances for lasting abundance. You feel it like a soft rearranging inside your chest, not a sudden windfall, but the gentle rerouting of rivers. Where money once came in torrents and then evaporated, now channels are being dug. The Lord is teaching your life how to receive on a schedule, how to multiply through habits, relationships, and wise choices. This is a season of systems, not surprises. You won't have to hang your hope on one check, one handshake, or one desperate prayer. Instead, opportunities will begin to arrive in patterns, repeat clients, steady favor, returns from seeds already planted. Notice how your posture changes with that trust. Decisions are made with a steadier heart. You spend less time replaying what went wrong and more time managing what's being given. That calm is not complacency, it's stewardship. Flow needs structure. You are being invited to steward this new circulation. Diversify what feeds you, protect what grows, and give with intention so that the current keeps moving. Remember the seasons you survived. Each loss and every weight were not wasted. They tuned you to the rhythms of endurance. Now the heavens are aligning entrances that persist. Some will be small at first, consistent, reliable, quiet, but they will repeat. Others will come as favor that opens doors you once thought closed. All of it is meant to create balance, enough to breathe, enough to build, enough to bless. Receive this word and let it shape how you act. Begin with small practices that honor what is coming, a budget that reflects values, conversations that invite partnership, decisions that favor long-term peace over short-term fixes. Move forward with faith, not frenzy. Test the flow by stepping toward responsibility and watch how reinforcement follows. What small change could you make this week that would let a steady entrance grow into a stream? Share one lesson you learned in hard times that readies you for this season. Leave it in the comments. In the next video, we'll uncover practical steps to turn these steady entrances into sustainable abundance. This is the hour when you sense a quiet rearrangement taking place behind the scenes of your life. It is not flashy. It does not shout. Instead, it comes like a steady river changing the shape of the shore, slow, inevitable, persistent. You have known sudden rescues that slipped away. You have felt help arrive and then vanish. That season is ending. God is establishing a steady flow that will not depend on a single paycheck, a single favor, or one miraculous event. He is reordering the financial system of your life so income circulates, multiplies, and stays. You will begin to notice small shifts, opportunities that repeat, doors that open more than once, decisions made from peace rather than panic. Your mind clears, your heart lightens. Fear loosens its hold because a new habit of provision is being formed, diversified, balanced, and wise. The Lord is teaching you to steward what comes through steady choices, sound priorities, and faithful small steps. Flow requires responsibility, and God entrusts abundance to those who steward peace. Remember that your losses and weights were not wasted. They trained you to receive with humility, to protect what is given, and to recognize provision when it arrives. Wear those lessons like a mantle. Let them guide how you invest your time, resources, and attention. Trust that the heavens are organizing steady entrances for you. Entrances that will continue to come in season and out, aligning with wisdom and favor. Receive this word and move in faith. Stand in calm expectation. Each small, consistent step you make will answer the promise you have been given. The flow has begun, and it will not stop. Curiosity. What might steady provision look like in one area of your life if you felt truly released from scarcity? Reflect and share in the comments one small way you are ready to steward what's coming. For the next video, join me as we explore practical, spiritual steps to keep the flow, how to steward, diversify, and make peace the soil where abundance grows.